Welcome to Popcorned Planet. I am Andy Signore, and the family of the youngest victim of Astroworld is telling Travis Scott, you bear some of the responsibility, and we reject your offer for funeral costs. They are demanding much more than that, as they should. This only reiterates my stance. Travis Scott, look, is not the only reason behind what happened here. I forgot to mention Apple. A lot of people were emailing me after my last video, which if you haven't seen, I'll put it up here. Go check it out. But Apple was apparently involved in creating those sets. And so Apple is on the hook for a lot of money as well, as they should be. Why were they designing sets for their live show that wasn't vetted by security experts? Live Nation, Apple, so many people involved in the concert beyond just the main two companies, as well as Travis Scott, are all responsible for this. However, it is encouraging to see that the family of Ezra Blount, I'm just heartbroken when every time I see his face. This is just as a father, it makes me so angry. It makes me so angry that they weren't able to be at this concert. I know a lot of people are trying to shame them. Why are you bringing a 9-year-old to this show? Well, it's because this 9-year-old saw Travis Scott on Fortnite and became a fan. And there was all tickets, all ages. So we could be mad at that. We could be frustrated as certain parents, but it's not our place to lay the blame right there. It's our responsibility to demand that these promoters and everyone involved bear responsibility for this. Now, as you guys have heard, Travis Scott was trying to put out some good press by saying, he was sorry and he was going to cover the funeral costs of the victims. Well, the family of Ezra are declining that offer in this heartbreaking letter. Your client's offer is declined. I have no doubt that Mr. Scott feels remorse. His journey ahead will be painful. He must face and hopefully see that he bears some of the responsibility for this tragedy, the Blount family attorney, Bob Hillard, said in a blistering response. Now, what's really telling about this is that the offer from Scott was sent to Hillard and his co-counselor last Wednesday by the rapper's new lawyer, Daniel Kelly. Ezra was laid to rest the day before in a funeral at Texas. Travis is devastated by the tragedy that occurred in the Astroworld Festival and grieves for the families whose loved ones died or were injured. Travis is committed to doing his part to help the families who have suffered and begin the long process of healing in the Houston community. Towards that end, Travis would like to pay for the funeral expenses for Mr. Blount's son. Bertrocelli is famous for representing Fred Goldman in the wrongful death trial that found OJ liable and the deaths of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown. He claimed in his Wednesday letter that acceptance of Scott's offer would have no effect on the lawsuit filed by Ezra's dad, Tristan, against Scott and others. In his reply, Hillard said, "For now, Scott must respect that his own devastation pales in comparison to that of Ezra's family." Excuse me. There may be, and I hope there is, redemption and growth for him on the other side of what this painful process will be. And perhaps one day, once time allows some healing for the victims and acceptance of responsibility by Mr. Scott and others, Tristan and Mr. Scott might meet, as there is also healing in that. I mean, God, I can't even imagine, but he's so spot on. Travis Scott continuing to try and curb the blame here is ridiculous. And all his fans sort of trying to get mad that we're still covering this. Hello, we want responsibility because traditionally there is none. The rich, powerful celebrities get away with everything. And Travis is absolutely part of many people that deserve to take accountability for what happened at Astroworld. In the meantime, he likened Ezra's death to a faucet of unimaginable pain that has no off handle. To lose a child in the manner Tristan lost Ezra compounds the pain. As a parent, Tristan cannot help but agonize over the terrible idea that Ezra's last minutes were filled with terror, suffering, surrounded by strangers, his dad underneath, uncontrolled crowd. Speaking to Rolling Stone on Monday, Hillard said Scott's camp previously reached out to Crump regarding the possibility of setting up an in-person meeting. We were pretty firm with all due respect, no. This isn't a photo op story here. This is a who's responsible and why type of investigation, and he's on a short list. Whew. I mean, I didn't catch this for the first part. I mean, it's so... what a brilliant attack back, because you need to be blistering in this. You need to get him sweating and nervous because he has to pay. He has to take accountability, and the lawyers aren't going to let him apologize and take accountability because he's on the hook then to pay a lot of money if he admits it, right? But this idea that they wanted to do an in-person meeting, what? Come on, what do we want to pay? Like, what does that mean? An in-person meeting? The gall of Travis Scott to think, I want to meet with this guy. You think that's going to help? You think that would have helped things? I don't know. I'm shocked. Unless Travis was trying to say, look, off the record, I can't admit any of this. But you think the dad's going to want to hear that? It would have been a disaster for Travis Scott either way. And good on them for calling it out. This isn't a photo op story here. Who's responsible and why? As you know, Ezra was on his dad's shoulders when they became stuck in the surge. Everyone was pushing. It was so tight with no exits. I couldn't. The dad passed out. We don't know what happened to Ezra after that. They later found him at a nearby hospital, listed as a John Doe. He was in a medical coma and died on November 14th. Ugh. Another lawyer representing the family said on Monday that the mom are attempting to band together and move forward, but it's a day-by-day, hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute survival mode they're in. No parent should ever have to experience what Tamara and Tristan have experienced. In a video remembering Ezra sharing a GoFundMe page for the family, the boy who loved skateboarding and Fortnite is seen acting out a SpongeBob SquarePants meme and lip-syncing with his dad. No more comments for Rolling Stone. There we go. Now the chair of the trial practice of Miller Love also famously represented Donald Trump and is now defunct Trump University in a class auction that settled $25 million. Interesting. Well, there you go. And obviously you can still, did he, yeah, good. He's not, I'm surprised he didn't make his goal of 200,000, but there you go. If you want to support the family, and I'm sure they're not paying these legal fees. I can't imagine they're paying these legal fees. This case is pro bono lawyer case 101. The lawyer's going to make a fortune. And so it's very easy, not only these injury cases, and especially if there's clear wrongful death, it's pretty easy to find a pretty good lawyer to take the case. But that doesn't help the family. Money doesn't help the family get over this loss, but it obviously will help them not have to worry about it for a little while, because it's one less thing on their thing. So if you'd like to give the GoFundMe page, you can. I'll put the link in the description as well. Make sure I've copied that here. But I got to give the returnee props, because this is what a stupid move on Travis's campaign. Come on, let us pay for your funeral. Come on, man. We want to meet one, please. Can we just pay for the funeral, please? Dude, leave them alone. Leave them alone. You're in a legal battle with them. I want to meet privately. I want to pay for the funeral. You don't get to make those calls, Mr. Scott. I don't know what on earth you're thinking, and why would your lawyer be doing this if you weren't pushing them to? Why would the lawyer? I can't imagine a lawyer worth any way would want to push for this without Travis's approval. Now, they could be trying to push for this to try and make sure that, hey, accept this funeral cost, therefore we can use this in our defense later. Absolutely, that could be part of it, even though they're saying that it wouldn't have had any effect on it later. I still can't get over this part right here. To me, sums it all up. I have no doubt Mr. Scott feels remorse. His journey ahead will be painful. He must face and hopefully see that he bears some of the responsibility for this tragedy. You couldn't have said it any better than that. And so kudos to them for declining the offer and holding on to the bigger eye on the prize, which is figuring out what happened, who's responsible. It's not just Travis Scott. I know I'm picking on him because he's seemingly, because that's who we're all talking about the most, but I do bear a lot of responsibility to him, because he was the one who should have had a team around him to stop it. And the fact that he's not out there demanding that his team, why didn't you tell me? Blah, blah, blah. Because they probably did, right? That's the reality check. If you are a performer and you've put a team around you that is there to support you and protect your crowd, your audience, your brand, well, then you should have no qualms calling them out right away to say, how did I miss this, guys? Why didn't someone come on stage and tell me? That's what a performer should do, who actually has empathy, compassion, and feels remorse. Someone should be like, I did everything in my power to stop. I saw that ambulance and I stopped the show. I did this and I stopped the show. Travis Scott can't say any of that stuff because he didn't. He knows he's responsible, but he won't accept it. He refuses to accept it. The Kardashians are there, I'm sure, in his ear. There's rumors that Kylie's pregnant again. This is a mess for them from a PR standpoint. But the fact that they're treating this as a PR statement and not as a tragedy that deserves accountability is what's really, really frustrating about this case. So yeah, we're going to keep covering this case. I'm going to keep covering this case. So keep the pressure on, as we're supposed to. And to the family of Ezra, my heart goes out to you, and bravo to you and your legal team for holding your own and rejecting this offer. This was not a good offer. There's no need to have Travis pay for this. Do it yourself. Go for the real, I don't want to say prize, but the way to win this is not just in money. They deserve a lot of money. They really do. But it's about figuring out, how did this happen and how do we ensure this never happens again? That's what this should be for this family. And I can't imagine that's not their first goal. Kudos to them. Again, I'll put the GoFundMe in there if you want to support them. You can. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more coverage of this event and so much more, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below. We'll be live today around 12:30. So join us every weekday around 12:30 here in the channel. If you hit that subscribe, you're supposed to get notified. Hopefully you will. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash these other videos. In the meanwhile, thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet.